difference between an ordinary person and a great person lies in the degree of concentration. The quality of your life depends on how much you can concentrate and what you concentrate on. What am I thinking of? Where do I put my mind? And how much of the mind I can put on that? Mind in its own place can make a heaven of hell and a hell of heaven. It's basically a function of two things. One is the challenge posed by the environment and other is your skill. Suppose you're playing tennis. When you begin to play tennis, it's a great thing just to return a serve. So all your energies and your concentration, focus, you're all aroused and ready to face the challenge, and if you're able to return the serve, that is, you attain flow there. It's a match between the challenge and your skills. Your skill is exactly up to that level. But then this point of flow is dynamic. After some time, what happens is, if you keep just returning a serve, it becomes boring after some time because your skill has now exceeded the challenge. Now you need to up the challenge. So maybe you need to play a game. Then you maybe need to play a game against a good player, and so on. This flow, focus, is a question of challenge and skill. Then if your skill, your capacity is below the level of challenge, it leads to anxiety, uneasiness, anxiety, strain. If the challenge is way below your skills, it leads to boredom. If they are well balanced, at that point you get flow, focus. If you want focus and flow, you need to increase the challenge to meet your abilities. If the challenge is beyond your abilities, the environment is putting too much pressure on your abilities, then you need to break it down into smaller chunks and deal with it one at a time, a little bit at a time, manageable bits at a time. But there are other things to consider also in focus. One thing which scatters our minds is self-interest. If I am in it for myself, then always I'll be tense. What have I gained? What have I lost? How much do I get out of this? I'm not relaxed anymore. Selfishness leads to a scattered mind. It can lead to a kind of narrow focus on my own interests, but always it will be vulnerable and you're open to anxiety and fear and frustration. Unselfishness. The unselfish mind is relaxed mind. So the more you are about doing good to the organization you work for, the family unit you are with, or the community, or in general for others, you are relaxed about yourself. Spirituality is, when I close my eyes, I find peace within. When I open my eyes, my attitude is, what can I do for you? Our problem is just the opposite. When I close my eyes, all sorts of disturbance within. All sorts of thoughts, restlessness within. And when I open my eyes, not what I can do for you, what can I get from you? So this is just the opposite of spirituality. This is worldliness. Unselfishness. To the extent that we can be unselfish, to that extent mind will be relaxed and better focused. The focus which comes out of selfishness is a narrow band focus, which leads to unpleasantness and tension and frustration. Love leads to focus. So what I love, my mind automatically is drawn to that and easily focused without all sorts of techniques. When you realize that you are that one existence consciousness bliss and all of this world is your appearance, then the mind remains calm and steady and the unflickering flame. Before we come to Advaita, our reaction to the world is, what? And after we get Advaita, our reaction is, so what?